Stress management comes in many forms, meaning there are many different things that you can do in order to help to manage the stress in your life more effectively and do a better job with managing the effects that are stress related. The most effective approach to stress management is a comprehensive one, meaning tackling stress from many different angles. It's a little bit like changing all of the four tires on your car when they need new tires versus just changing one tire. While there is some benefit, I suppose, to changing just one tire, it's really by changing all four tires that you get the most of your efforts. This is the same thing when it comes to effective stress management. It truly has to come in the form of a very comprehensive approach. As you engage with this YouTube channel and check out all the different videos, you will begin to see all the different ideas that contribute to this comprehensive approach to effective stress management. One of the things about stress is that it can make us feel out of control. And it's a little bit of a chicken versus the egg, or chicken or the egg approach. Which comes first, the feeling out of control that causes our stress, or our stress that gives us that feeling out of control? One could argue for either side, but the bottom line, the takeaway is that stress often comes with that feeling of loss of control or not having control. So one of the things that we can do in order to help reduce the stress in our lives and help to reduce the effects of stress in our lives is to focus on those things that we can control. Now, you have to go into this with both eyes wide open. You have to realize that there are very few things in life that we truly can control. And I know that there are some of you out there who are absolutely convinced that you have control of most, if not everything, in your life. But the reality is that we have very little control on the world outside of ourselves. What we can control are more things that are internal and things that may be closely within our lives, within our own environment. So in order to successfully apply this idea of bringing a sense of control as a way of helping us to reduce stress and the effects that come with stress, is to look for those things that we can successfully control in our lives. But again, you have to be very honest about that. You have to be very realistic. So don't go into it thinking that you can control other people, because you will probably become more stressed and more frustrated with that kind of adventure, that kind of journey. Go into it by selecting the things that you can control. So be realistic and be honest. So what kind of things can you control in your life? Well, certainly you can control yourself. You can control things like your diet, what you put in your mouth. And before you give me a list of excuses why that's not true, stop, think, and be honest. You absolutely control what you put in your mouth. Unless you are a child, which these videos are really intended for grown-ups. Unless you are a child that has to eat what mom serves, as an adult, you absolutely have an option of what you put in your mouth. Even if you are making a choice of a food that is less than ideal in terms of its nutrition, you can still choose to have a very small portion of it to minimize any negative effects of that particular less than healthy food choice. So your diet is absolutely something that you can control. Exercise is another thing that you can control in your life. Moving your body. Exercise and moving your body doesn't mean spending hours on end working out or spending hours at the gym. It simply means moving your body more than you are today or that you have been. Exercise and movement are a great way of helping to reduce stress and its effects. So it's absolutely up to you to get up and get moving. Even if you're watching a little bit of TV, you can do so by standing up and doing some in place exercises, jumping jacks or running in place. So you can absolutely control your exercise. You don't have to go crazy. It doesn't have to be super intense. You can enjoy a walk on a regular basis, hopefully on a daily basis. Walking is a simple and fairly gentle form of exercise that most people can do. So as you can see, in addition to diet, you can also control how much you move your body. Sleep is another thing that you can control. And while I understand that there are exceptions where there are times in our lives where we simply can't get as much sleep as we would like to, consider how much time you may be wasting on watching an entire season or two of your favorite show on Netflix or Prime or whatever entertainment you may enjoy, where you could make the choice of getting some sleep instead. So make sure that you consider sleep and getting enough sleep specifically as a way of helping to manage the stress in your life, as a way of helping to fight the effects of stress that you encounter on a daily basis. So sleep is another thing that you can control in your life. Mindfulness types of behaviors and activities is another example of something that we can choose because it's something that we can control. So what are we talking about here? Things like meditation or prayer or quiet contemplation. We absolutely have control to engage in that kind of behavior, whether you do it for 1 minute or 3 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever your schedule allows and whatever you're willing to commit to, you can absolutely do this kind of behavior on a regular basis as a means of reducing the stress in your life and the effects of stress in your life. So consider mindfulness types of behaviors that you have complete control over in your life. The final thing that I will suggest that you can control is your own behavior and how you react to things and to others. You may not think so, especially if you're someone who tends to fly off the handle and be very reactive. With practice, you can absolutely change that. Our own behavior is something that we absolutely should strive to have a handle on. We should strive to be in control of ourselves and our behaviors. An external situation should never be used as an excuse for bad behavior, whether it's bad behavior towards others or ourselves. So make sure that you are paying attention to your own behavior and how you are reacting to situations, people, different things that you encounter in your daily adventures. As with anything else, engaging in new behaviors takes time and practice, takes time and energy, and practice makes better. So if some of these things are brand new to you, make sure that you give yourself enough time to get better at having a sense of control over them. Your dietary habits, your exercise and movement habits may not change overnight, so give yourself some time to get better, improve on those. It's true for all the other things that I listed in this video as well. So remember that this takes time, energy, and practice, and it will get better with time and practice. But the whole idea is to focus on things that you can control. And the things that I listed in this video are absolutely things that you can control. And it's so important, so very important that we have things in our life that we feel in control of, because life is stressful, and external stressors, external components, external influences are difficult to control, sometimes impossible to control. So it's so important that we have a sense of control by focusing on those things that we can control. One final thought on the ideas presented here today. Make sure that as you're striving to identify and master those things in life that you can control as a means of helping you to reduce the stress and its effects on you, the stress in your life. Make sure that you don't become obsessive, because that would be very counterproductive. That would give you the exact opposite of what the goal here is. The goal is to gain a sense of control rather than becoming obsessive and therefore losing control, feeling more out of control than feeling in control. So make sure you don't become obsessive about these things. While a healthy diet and exercise and sleep and mindful practices and controlling your behavior are all very important and can be all very beneficial to your experience, becoming obsessive about any of those can truly bring more stress and anxiety into your life. So as you approach this, make sure that you're doing this in a way that is meant for you to feel more in control rather than stressing you out more and making you feel more out of control.